It was not the Syrian government which arranged for me to speak at the UN, it was my request. And I requested this because I had seen that the U.S. Peace Council, which this summer went to Syria, when they returned, they gave a press conference at the United Nations. And so I thought that this was actually a good opportunity to share with a wider audience what I have seen on my independent visits to Syria. So I requested this, and then the members of the U.S. Peace Council and a coalition called Hands Off Syria organized for me to speak at the United Nations. So this had actually, the only thing it had to do with the Syrian government was the Syrian ambassador, the permanent representative to the United Nations, agreeing to facilitate this. Some people have taken issue with things I said because I was basically critiquing much of the corporate media's reporting on Syria. And I have to say that instead of actually digesting what I said and critiquing the details of what I've said, instead people have gone to the usual tactic of just trying to smear who I am and imply that I am an agent of either or both Syria and Russia. Many people have implied that I am on the payroll of both Syrian and Russian governments. And the fact that I do contribute to the Russia Today op-ed section apparently in some people's eyes makes me compromised. And I'll say this, I began contributing to the Russia Today op-ed section when I lived in Gaza. This was not an issue for people who then appreciated my writings. The fact that I'm writing what I see in Syria when I'm on the ground in Syria, when I talk with Syrian civilians, and I sometimes contribute to Russia Today op-ed section, and I also contribute to other sites. Suddenly this is an issue for many of the same people who backed me when I was writing from occupied Palestine, from Gaza. I am a freelance journalist. I have the right to contribute to whomever I wish. I submit an article to Russia Today op-ed, and they decide whether or not they wish to run it, and that's how it works. I maintain that what I am writing and what I'm reporting and whom I'm citing are Syrian civilians who I've encountered in Syria. If people do not wish to hear the voices of Syrian civilians, and if they want to maintain their narrative, which is in line with the NATO narrative, which is in line with destabilizing Syria and vilifying the government of Syria and ignoring the overwhelming wishes of the people of Syria, then they do this by accusing me of spreading propaganda. The fact that my writing is in line with the Syrian people that I have met widely throughout Syria on many trips to Syria, 6 trips to Syria, the fact that this does in some respects align with what Russian media reports does not mean that I am reporting Russian propaganda, and it does not mean that what Russian media is reporting is propaganda. It means that it happens to be that I report the truth as I see it on the ground, and some Russian media happen to report the truth as they see it on the ground. Why do we not see these accusations when a BBC journalist goes to Syria and reports what I often believe not to be the full story? Why are they not accused of working for the state of England? Why are Al Jazeera journalists not accused of working for Qatar? I mean, these are obviously loaded accusations that are slung at me to discredit what I have to say.